Hello, I'm Mike Tannenbaum, Tannenbaum Chiropractic, located in Ann Arbor, Michigan, where we do a great job of helping people get rid of neck pain, back pain, tingling and numbness in arms and legs, and other nerve-related problems. And of course, this is done without surgery or medications. My patients have asked me at times how the spinal column works, how it's put together, so I thought I'd do a brief video just to explain that. Okay, here I have the typical spinal column. You may not be able to see it completely in the camera here, but this is a typical human spinal column, not including what we call the sacrum, which is really part of the pelvis. The spinal column is made up of 24 vertebrae, and the spinal column is used to help house and protect the spinal cord. And of course, the spinal cord is transmitting all the information, or is used to transmit all the information from the brain and then out to the body. And it does that by transversing the spinal column in the back side of the spinal column, where there are holes that are kind of like donuts that are part of each vertebrae that allow the transmission of the spinal cord uninhibited through the spinal column. Now, between each vertebrae are discs, and they act as cushions to cushion the spine during everyday activity. But they also play a really important role, and that is they allow what are called nerve roots that come off the spinal cord to go through the vertebrae and then out to the body. And then these nerve roots will actually split up and multiply as they go out to the body as nerves. And these nerves very densely pack your body, taking that information from the brain to the tissues, systems, and organs of the body, so the brain has control over the body function. Now, back to the discs. The discs not only help cushion the spinal column, but they help, again, to maintain the opening of the holes where the nerve roots come out. So if the disc were to reduce in size, that would then close down the nerve root opening, or the holes where the nerve roots come out, and that would pinch or irritate the nerve roots, and that can often cause excruciating pain, tingling and numbness in the arms and legs, and a variety of other negative symptoms. Now, you're supposed to have 3 curves in your spinal column. You're supposed to have a curve in the neck, forward curve in the neck, backwards curve in the mid-back, and forward curve in the low back. And it's the way the spinal column is put together to do what it needs to do. If you don't have those curves, then the spinal column is sort of misaligned and can't function properly. And actually, it creates kind of a speeded up degenerative effect. In other words, we all degenerate at a certain rate after a certain age. Our bones degenerate, our bodies degenerate, and so on. But the degeneration happens faster to the bones if they're not in proper position. Also, if the bones are not in proper position, and I guess I should say I'm not just talking about proper curve in the spine, but if the bones are misaligned, twisted sideways, or forward or backwards, or just not where they're supposed to be, that can pinch or irritate these spinal nerves, or these nerve roots that I was talking about that can be pinched when you had decreased disc space. And then again, that will cause the same symptoms as pinched or irritating nerves caused by decreased disc space, and that is, pain in the body, possibly tingling and numbness, and other health problems. Chiropractors work to make sure the bones are in the proper place so that these nerve roots are not pinched or irritated. Now, the last 2 things I'd like to mention here is you have what's called the pelvis. And the pelvis is also very important because it helps support the spine above it. There's lots of nerves in the pelvic region, so it's important to keep the pelvic bones in proper alignment. Plus, if the pelvis is attached to the leg bones, so the pelvis goes out of position, it can affect the legs, which can affect the knees, feet, and so on. So for example, if someone comes in and has knee or ankle problems, I'll often just adjust the pelvis to see if that helps. The last thing here, at the top of the spinal column sits the base of the skull, and that's called the occipital bone. And there are muscles that come down from the occipital bone into the neck and upper back. The neck or upper back is misaligned. Those muscles will potentially pull on the occipital bone and can cause headaches. And chiropractic works very well in helping get rid of headaches. So that's my brief explanation of the spinal column. I hope to do a more detailed explanation later on, but I thought I would just get this brief video out so people would have, again, a better understanding of the spinal column. Thank you very much.